YouTube? This is Tired Metalhead Weatherman. I hope you guys are having a good start to the week. It's Monday, May 9th, and we have plenty of severe weather ongoing. Pretty much can call this an outbreak at this point because I'm looking right now on the Storm Prediction Center page, and well, we're getting a little bit of everything. We had 3 tornado reports and 6 wind reports, but look at the hail reports. We're sitting at 87. That was crazy. In all honesty, for the most part, leading up to today, there was a 50-50 shot on whether storms would even form in this area. But if it did, a lot of us were thinking that this was going to be a loaded gun style setup, and lo and behold, it has lived up to the expectations we've had. I do expect a little bit more straight line wind reports later, but the tornado threat still seems like it's pretty high. In fact, there is still a ongoing tornado warning in western Wisconsin. There is an ongoing tornado watch for southeastern Minnesota. I was about to say Minneapolis. I have a really bad tendency of doing that to anyone that may be new on this channel and is watching, or yeah. Sorry, I'm pretty tired. But we got an enhanced risk for severe weather ongoing into tonight, and then as you can see, things have upticked in the days to come. We have 2 slight risks, one on Tuesday and one on Wednesday, and now we've had an upgrade from a slight risk to a enhanced risk on day 4, which will be Thursday on the 12th. We're gonna mainly go into, well, we're gonna try to look as far out as we can on the short range models. It's about 60 hours, so I probably would say Wednesday is about as far as we could look. We'll take a closer look at Thursday tomorrow in tomorrow's video. But also, as I'm getting ready to show you guys what the radar could look like tonight. If you guys like what I'm doing, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm trying to get this, trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to get this info out to people that need it. I love doing this. I'm not the best at it, but I love doing it. No question about it. Otherwise, you wouldn't see me coming home from work and working out as well back here to do this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted. But anyway, here's what our radar is looking like at OOZ, which is about an hour from now. Storm threat's going to start to really diminish. We have what looks like a little line of storms, maybe a couple of stronger ones in western Wisconsin. These storms will continue to mature a little bit once we get towards central Wisconsin and working our way into the overnight hours, and then we just kind of lose them. Then for Tuesday's threat, we're mainly looking, and for Tuesday's threat, we'll actually go back to the SPC just to make sure I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's. We actually have 2 areas of interest. I've been talking about this area because it's had such high Cape values and dew points. I just don't see any reason as to why severe weather wouldn't occur here, unfortunately. And this is an area that got hit pretty hard last week. There were several tornadoes in this area. One of them pretty impressive around Lubbock and Abilene. So we're looking at Fort Stockton, Abilene again, Midland, and Lubbock in line for a slight risk for severe weather. Amarillo, Fort Sill, Wichita Falls, you guys are in a marginal risk. And then our second area, it's a little bit further to the east. I do think this is leaning towards more of an overnight and morning type threat, but there could potentially be some reformation here. This will include Green Bay, Milwaukee, and areas just to the east of La Crosse in Wisconsin. And the marginal risk pretty much includes the rest of Wisconsin and some parts of Michigan as well, trying to sneak its way into Chicago. So we'll take a look at that closely. We'll take a quick look at the hazards. We got a 15% wind threat in both areas, outlined by a 5% wind threat. Hail threat is now actually a hatched risk towards Fort Stockton and areas to the south. Up towards the northern slight risk, For Wisconsin, we're just at a typical 15%. Tornado threats for tomorrow, pretty low. This could uptick though, just like it did today. So we'll have to watch this real close. I kind of think that we're going to look at more of a line of storm. We may look at a line of storms here. I do think this is a dry line-esque setup for the southern region of Texas and then towards Wisconsin and Milwaukee, Green Bay. I also think there's a line of storms. But I do think in the earlier part of this potential severe weather event, there might be a chance for a couple of tornadoes. Take a quick look at day 3. Our slight risk. Now we're back into the Dakotas and Minnesota once more. This time we have Minneapolis in play. We also have Sioux Falls in play in the slight risk. Aberdeen, you're just to the, this is just to the east of you. Fargo is just to your south. So any of those areas in between, you need to be watching this real close. And then we have a very big marginal risk area. Wouldn't surprise me if I would see even more severe weather around this southern area again. Because literally it's just like the energy just doesn't seem to dissipate around Texas. I also have some slight concern around, eastern New Mexico for potential pyrocumulus, which are dry thunderstorms. I wouldn't rule it out, but we already had we already have a ongoing wildfire problem there, and this is definitely not going to help. This is probably why we've been seeing the critical to extreme fire outlooks that we have been seeing over there the last few days. I haven't really been talking about as much as I would have liked to, but because of all the severe weather. And there's still other stuff that I've got to talk about too. But we'll go into that maybe tomorrow. But if we look at day 4, we have an enhanced risk well in advance of the 72-hour mark. This now includes Fargo, areas to the east of Aberdeen, areas to the east of Bismarck, and Minot. Some bigger towns are involved here, and then Bismarck, you're hanging just outside of this slight risk. Sioux Falls, you are in this slight risk. Duluth, Minnesota, I'd say you're just about in there pretty much. And then Bismarck, you're just about in the slight risk. So we'll have to watch this really close. We'll have to watch this area real close. I think all 3 hazards are likely with this, unfortunately. So we'll have to be on high alert around this area in the days to come. Now that I've gotten that fully out of the way, we're going to finish this radar look here. I'm sorry that this turned out a little bit disorganized. I often do these videos on the fly. So I'm trying to see what kind of development we may have. It looks like right around the lunchtime hours, I think this northern storm system starts to kick back up once again. And once we go into the NAM, we'll go to the NAM here for the rest of the way. So we'll go about the 21 hours out. NAM doesn't update as quickly as the HRRR, so this is a little bit later of a run here. This also has a slightly different look to it too. But it looks like around late evening hours on Tuesday, this line of storms forms up here. And we're going to take a sounding of some of the more southern cells. Looks like we're leaning more towards another big hail threat. Not surprising here. Low level winds, there seems like there's plenty of shear here, so that's pretty impressive. Can't say that there's not a tornado threat, but it's definitely a lot lower than what it is today. So we'll move this along. This mainly, like I said, this mainly seems to lend itself towards more of a straight line damaging wind threat. We'll see what this looks like, but I'm pretty certain that, okay, there we go. There's a tornado threat. Not surprising there. Okay, I'm just waiting for this to finish loading here. Alright, So it's a considerable tornado threat. Nothing super cellular from the looks of it. Wow, look at this dew point though. That's crazy. Getting towards the 73-degree mark on the dew points in the overnight hours, which is, to me, it's almost unheard of, especially for areas this far north. It's hard to get Gulf moisture that rich that far north. This is a little bit bold though, so we'll see if this downticks at all any, and we honestly would hope so. But you can clearly see that there's pretty impressive lapse rates here as well. It's very sufficient instability, so especially towards the lower levels of the atmosphere. Really, there's some there's some considerable surface base shear too, especially towards the 1 to 3 kilometer mark. So this definitely checks out as having a great potential for some kind of severe weather, especially anything tornadic. Cape values are insane. We're hitting 3,000 up this far north. That's crazy. Meanwhile, there we go. That's where we want to be. We can see what looks like some discrete cells popping up here. Take a look right here. That looks impressive there as well. But nothing. Oh wow, nothing. It's kind of odd. So we'll move this a little further forward. Come on now. Uh-oh. Computer's not cooperating with me. Okay, there we go. You can see our line of storms develop here. It looks like it's in line segments, actually. Towards the eastern half of this, I think that's where we start to lose our atmospheric parameters. I think this is the real thing. This is the real segment to be watching. Mostly looks like severe, maybe even a wind threat. Cape values are a lot lower here than what they are in oh, that's a weird look. A high pressure around this storm system. This could actually limit the severe weather if this actually holds true. I mean, it's trying to become a low pressure, but it just doesn't look like it's going to be able to hold out. If so, then that's a good thing. So let's take a look at Wednesday real quick. And things look a little bit quieter. If I remember correctly, I did see a slight risk for Wednesday. The NAM has been really weird lately sometimes as far as picking up some severe weather events. Sometimes it just doesn't show anything, and it looks like we might be having another one of those. Okay, there we go. But it's a little further south, which I find odd. And a little bit further off to the east than expected. Yeah, it's a little bit further off to the east. Because we were expecting severe weather around Minnesota and the Dakotas on day 3. So, yeah, something just doesn't seem to be adding up here with the NAM, unfortunately. And we're towards the end of the model run too. So we'll take a quick look at the low-level jet for tomorrow at least. We'll have to wait till some later model runs come in to see what's going on with Wednesday, because I don't know why we're getting such a weird look right now. So we still have our low-level jet for tonight. I expect some of these storms to go into the overnight as well. Sufficient low-level jet. We're hitting the 45, 50 knot mark, no problem, into the overnight hours. And then Monday, well, not Monday, but Tuesday, I'm gonna watch this all move forward. And then late in Tuesday night, I think right around here is where we're gonna have maybe some potential for an isolated tornadic cell, but NAM just doesn't seem to be really sold on it. I mean, I'm not sure why it's been doing that lately. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that look either. I think that's kind of a bogus look because, I mean, we're into the we're into the late evening hours, but it's not going to be 59 degrees in Texas, especially not northern Texas. I'm not sure why we're getting that kind of look from it. This, I guess we're getting into Model Madness season again. I don't know. Excuse me. So we're gonna take a little bit of a look. We're going further north, just trying to figure out just what on earth is going on. See, that doesn't make any sense. The further north we go, it gets warmer, but right here it's colder. It's just kind of odd. And right here we're gonna probably get nothing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this thing. So I do apologize for that. And then we go into Wednesday. I do hope by the OZ or O6Z will have a little bit more clarity here. Of course, this will be during the time when I'm working and I won't be able to show anything to you guys. But we're going to look. I mean, we have a low-level jet right around the area where the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center are outlining, but the NAM doesn't have any storm showing up, which I think is bogus. Then it has this odd low-level jet that pops up here around Kansas and Nebraska. But the threat for storms, I mean, it's there. I do think that the instability is going to be there too from what I saw in previous models as far as Cape is concerned. So it's just odd. I find all this really odd. So move this further along. There's a bunch of odd stuff going on with the NAM, but this is only a short-range model that I have. It might have been just better to go with the Euro, but the other day it was doing something weird. So it's just been a mess lately. Trying to look at severe weather. I don't know. Maybe we might have overworked the models here, but we'll look at the Cape for Tuesday, and I mean, just look at that. That's not missing. That's just what I've been expecting. That's what I've been seeing for the last week, and this does not disappoint. Oh my goodness. I would expect the Cape to be a little bit further to the north and west, but maybe the National Weather Service might have gotten it wrong. I don't know. Then again, these models fail too, and this is what we go for as far as guidance is concerned. We'll take another look at the Cape values for Tuesday. So, look here. Look here towards, wow, look at that. I don't know what's flying overhead. Definitely a military aircraft for sure. I'm just not sure which one. Look at me geeking out over stupid stuff. Well, not stupid stuff, but anyway. Getting sidetracked. We're already almost 20 minutes in on the video. But towards Panhandle of Texas, we have ridiculous Cape. And even towards Wisconsin, we have very impressive Cape. We're hitting the 3,000 mark. Once we get towards southern Texas, we're hitting such high Cape that this is probably what limits the tornado threat. Because the thing about Cape is the higher the Cape values get, the more storms form up in that environment. With tornadic activity, you're kind of looking for more discrete supercells. So I'm thinking this is definitely more high wind hail threat down here. Tornado threat seems a little bit more significant up north. We'll have to see how it plays out, but definitely some interesting stuff ahead. There is one other thing I'm going to look at before I get out of you guys' hair for the night. And this is a new model. This is called the CIN. This is for looking at what's called a capping inversion. Capping inversions actually can help inhibit severe thunderstorm development. If there's an environment that has explosive cap, and then you're wondering to me, and if you're wondering, you're asking me, but Ty, there's no storms that have formed here. Didn't you say the Cape is at such and such value, or we have dew points in the 70s, or whatever? These capping inversions are pretty much that's basically it. It's a cap. Storms need to rise upward in order to really develop and grow to reach that severe limit. And the cap basically stops the storms from rising up, stops that warm air from rising and meeting up with cold air. Because that's how storms form anyway, is through a collision of warm and cold air. So, the brighter the values, the brighter the colors, basically it's the same thing as the cape, the greater the capping inversion. So if you see something like this in the purple, white, and red here, odds are you're going to have a hard time getting any sort of severe weather. So if you don't like storms especially, you're rooting for this color right here that I'm highlighting. So let's move this forward. So from what I'm seeing here, there's not too much of a capping inversion. Cap burns off pretty quick, especially in the overnight hours around Wisconsin. Warms up a little bit more around around southern and south central Texas. Then on Wednesday, we do look like we get a bit of a capping inversion based off of the NAM, but this NAM is pretty much wonky anyway at this point, so we're gonna have to just wait for the next run. But this is all I got for you guys. Hope I was able to show you guys something a little new this time. We'll use this model a little bit more. We'll use this not model, but we'll use this parameter a little bit more often. It's still a learning process. I'm not used to having to look at all this equipment, like not equipment, but all this data like I am now. So this is an adjustment for me too. So hopefully you guys can bear with me. But that's it for tonight. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you guys Tuesday. Stay safe and stay metal.